Now that I've exported the QuickTime Alpha Channel movie with the iPhone app and the animation, I've imported it into my project window. I'm going to drag it over the very first composition we created, which is the background composition. I'm going to drag through my timeline to make sure that when the phone is in the horizontal position, it is centered in the middle of my comp. I'm now going to go back to the beginning. I'm going to hit P for position and Shift S for scale. I'll drop a keyframe for each of them, and I'm going to make the scale 0. I'll advance in my timeline to 4 seconds. And now I'll bring the scale of the iPhone back to 100%. So now it appears as if the phone is coming from a one-point perspective at the back of the composition. Now I'd like it to be a little lower at the edge of the planet when it is coming across the screen. So I'm going to hit K on the keyboard to put my playback back at 4 seconds. I'm going to drag the first keyframe we created for position and snap it at the 4-second interval. Now I'll hit Home on the keyboard, and I'm going to grab the little box where our animation is zeroed out, and I'll drag that down closer to the horizon line of the planet. And I'm going to drag through to see in fact it's what I would like to have. That's looking pretty good. Now we run out of time because we still have to put another version of the Hubble satellite coming out of the screen and then going off the screen of the entire movie, and we've got text. So as before, I'm going to right click on that movie clip in the timeline, and I'm going to enable time remapping, and I'll put my cursor over the very edge at the 24-second interval, and I'll drag that out to maximize it to the length of my composition. Now we're going to reintroduce the Hubble satellite once again. And if we look at the final composite, it comes in at around 24 seconds and exits through the phone and out into the background, tying the content on the front of the iPhone to the background of the movie before the phone itself dissolves. So what that means is we're going to go back to our image with the background and the phone where we left off, and we're going to reintroduce the satellite image. So we'll click and drag that onto screen, and I want this to happen in approximately 24 seconds. So I'll put my playback at 24 seconds and hold down Option and hit the open bracket to edit its beginning there. Now I want to change the scale and the position on this, so I'm going to hit P for position and Shift S for scale. Then I'm going to drop a keyframe for each of them. I'm going to zero out the scale at 24 seconds. And I'm going to drag the little box that represents that file now over to the left-hand side. I'd like the satellite to be off screen in 4 seconds. So I'm going to put my playback head at 28 seconds. And then I'm going to take the lock off of the scale. I'm going to make the x-axis -50, and then I'm going to make the y-axis 50. And I'm going to drag the satellite off the upper right-hand corner. So if I was to drag through that time interval, now the satellite appears to be going off screen. Now that I have the second satellite introduced, I want to put an echo effect on it. And I'll start by putting my playback at the beginning of that clip that begins at 24 seconds. And I'm going to go to Layer, Pre-compose Layer. I'll move all attributes, and I'll click OK. And I'm going to hold down the Option key and hit the open bracket to cut it at that point in time. I'll now go to Effects, Time, Echo. And I'm going to change the echo time to -0.5 4. And I'm going to change the echo numbers to 5. And then I'm going to reduce the decay to dissipate the latter versions of the satellite. The last thing I'll do is go to echo operation, and I'll choose composite in front.